first sin and possible crime is voyeurism.
Well, really, it's a film about filmmaking. Although Golztius is a printmaker of repute, I didn't invent him, he really existed. I suppose really it's transposing the activities of a filmmaker to a printmaker, and Golztius is me.
But in your film, you choose very difficult taboos. Are you trying to shock or entertain or inform?
Well, I would like to believe that you would think I would be honest to do all those things. Just to shock is never very good enough because it produces very sharp, quick, and probably, unnecessary returns.
How did you construct this? Because it seems to me this is the most beautiful series of tableaux.
Well, I'm trained as a painter. An Italian journalist once asked me, Mr. Greenaway, you start your career as a painter and now you're a filmmaker. Why? And my quick, I suppose, facetious reply said, I was always disappointed that paintings did not have soundtracks.
This film, though, has a constant soundtrack, and actually you've talked about cinema.
Indeed.
You've talked about cinema being too wordy.
Totally self-reflexive all the time. I really want to make cinema that's really cinema and not nothing else. We don't have an image-based cinema, we have a text-based cinema. Every film you've ever seen started life with a text. And I think we should prioritize the image, the image, the image, the image. And I strive to make well-wrought images.
The biblical creation of man and woman, for painters, has always presented problems.
I'm scared!
But you start with the ultimate text because you start with the Bible.
Indeed, the bestseller of all time. Isn't that a nice irony? And all those ironies are constantly perpetuated. There are lots and lots of words on screen, but those words are also performing like images. So it's text as image. In the beginning was the Word.
Did you want this film to be erotic, or was that just a byproduct? I mean, I know that you've railed against the idea that it's pornography.
Well, have I? I constantly accuse in the dialogue of Golztius being a pornographer. Look at it, look. Is that pornography? Is that as eroticism? What is the difference between two words? And this extreme piece of voyeurism there. A woman totally displayed for our voyeuristic gaze. I'm not so sure whether that's always a male gaze. Maybe you could answer me that. I'm sure women are just as interested in pornography as men. But there is a way, of course, that is blatantly obvious what its intent is meant to be.
You started as a painter, as you said, and you've been making films, and you, in a way, are very disparaging about certain elements of cinema. Do you want just to be a painter again? Not
always,
just, but
always,
you want to be a painter again.
I told you, Golztius is me. It's full of personal quirks and tropes and attitudes and self-reflections.
What kind of painter would you be?
I grew up, I suppose, in the 60s. Early David Hockney always excited me. The list could go on and on and on, of course. I think the first four important film directors are Caravaggio, Velázquez, who invented movement. So here they are again, Caravaggio, Rubens, Rembrandt, and Velázquez, the first four film directors. And they are dealing in this extraordinary business of artificial light. And what is cinema? Cinema is no more and no less than the manipulation of artificial light.
A little while ago, you said that when you reached the age of 80, you would kill yourself.
I live in Holland, where euthanasia is not a dirty word, and I cannot think of anybody who's done anything really valuable after 80. Can you? Tolstoy didn't die till he was 82, but he'd virtually given up writing. I don't think it's just enough to be capable enough to rock the cradle. I think you need to do something more than that. There are 7 billion people in the world. I think the old should move aside and allow the really inquisitive, curious, enterprising young to step forward.
So, you're still going to do it?
Well, I'm a good Darwinian. I have 4 children. I passed on the genetic material. I cannot think there's anything more important than to procreate. Can you think of anything more important than to procreate? I am, I suppose, engaged in filmmaking, which is a very enterprising and exciting idea, but it's only filling in the time now between now and death.